we moved to Taiwan 7 years ago, we rented a storage unit in Austin, Texas, where we stored one of our vintage Corvairs, some Corvair engines, and other parts. During our time in Taiwan, as we acquired things in the US, we stored them in this storage unit. When we bought the Tandem bike in preparation for RAGBRAI 2020, we had it shipped to Austin. You can see all this in a video that we posted. So the Tandem has been sitting in storage in Austin for about 18 months, along with the Corvair. We needed to get this storage unit emptied and all of our stuff to Frank's place, so in early May, we loaded ourselves into Dad's Dodge pickup and completed a 3-day, 1,706-mile drive from Idaho Falls to Houston, where my son Jake lives. We hung out with Jake for a few days and gave him a hand with his electric skateboard and one-wheel rental and retail business called Rent eBoards. Check it out on renteboards.com. After a great few days with Jake, we drove about 2 hours northeast of Houston to Lufkin, Texas, where my daughter Jessica works and lives. Hanging out with Jessica is always a blast, and she took us to the Angelina Brewing Company and the Front Porch Micro Distillery near Lufkin. We eventually made the 270-mile drive from Lufkin to Austin so we could rent a car transporter trailer and load up all the stuff in the storage unit.
After 18 months of storage, the car started up without a jump. Super happy about that. And no lifty clickers. Clicky lifters. After 18 months in storage, it started right up.
No, wait, well, we gotta get a little. Oh,
We gotta get-
ready?
yep.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Woo! Number 1.
So, we got it all loaded. Car's on the trailer. We are set to go 1,600 miles north.
What's inside?
Oh, yes. We got the Tandem inside the car
But it's hard to tell, but that is the Tandem.
with one of its wheels laying
One of
across
its
the
wheels
top of
laying
it.
across the top. So the Tandem is partially disassembled, and it's in the back seat of the Corvair. We got all of these engines loaded, all of this stuff. There's 4 Corvair engines in there. All of this stuff was in our storage locker. Our RAGBRAI bike is in the car.
Yay!
All of this stuff has to go to Frank's place, be sorted. But this is our last bit of stuff to get
All in one
centralized.
place. Yep.
We had a terrible rainstorm too.
Oh, we did.
Whew. I don't think we videoed any of that, but
I did. I got some
did you?
hail after the car was loaded.
Yeah.
I got some hail landing
was-
on the Corvair.
and now, of course, it's just beautiful. It's just beautiful.
We were mostly packed before that storm came through. We had a couple of odds and ends to throw in. We threw them in the trunk of the Corvair. We added the tie down.
If anybody tells you that the U-Haul trailer won't haul a Corvair, that's not true. That is absolutely just not true.
They tried to tell us that.
We knew it was a lie.
We knew it was a lie.
Early the next morning, we checked out of the hotel and hit the road for the long drive back home. We did stop for a few days in Amarillo, Texas, to visit my uncle and his wife.
Well, good morning.
Morning.
This is day one of our return trip home.
We have a Corvair.
We have a Corvair and all its accoutrements.
All of its accoutrements.
All those accoutrements were expensive too.
Yeah.
And all the engines are in the bed. Let's see if I can show you. Oh, that's a full load back there. You can't even see the Corvair
Look at the mirror.
because the bike rack is.
You can see it in the mirror.
Oh yeah. The bike rack is on top of all the stuff, wrapped in a tarp, car cover.
We are in San Angelo. We're in San Angelo, Texas. We're stopping by U-Haul Service Center because I noticed that the car had shifted backwards. Just a little bit, and caused the strap that holds the tire, essentially the strap that holds the car to the trailer, had abraded against a cut edge or an edge of sheet metal on the car and had abraded the strap. So we're going to go up here and see if they'll put a new strap on the trailer for safety. Safety first. You look at it.
You're fine. And it didn't happen with you, right? It happened because it doesn't look like it'll
No, it did.
break through.
The
It
car. Got anything you need cleaned?
You gonna mop the floor while we're
Yeah,
here?
I'm gonna mop the floor. I got all kinds of skills. I can mop floors. I can drive trailer trucks and stuff. Pretty handy.
All the straps are over there. Over there where the tool on shelf is. And you want to pay attention to how clear that. That was different.
Like behind it. Like
Yeah, I normally go behind the tube, but I don't really go like that. These are different than
Is it centered? Yes, sir. Here it is. Okay.
Not on there, so it's a little bit more. There you go. Is it in the middle of the tire?
It is. It is now.
Well, we're at a rest stop somewhere in Texas. Brentley's checking the load.
Hello.
Making sure everything's tied down snug.
Checking the load, checking the load.
Take me back to the old dirt road where Mama and Papa used to go. Let's sing all them songs from a long time ago.
Well, we're in Amarillo. And what do you do when you're in Amarillo? You gotta go see Cadillac Ranch. That's what you gotta do. Some old boy stuck a bunch of 50s Cadillacs in the ground.
We are here in Amarillo, Texas, on our way back up to Idaho Falls from Austin. We stopped at Uncle Gary's house. We are sightseeing a little bit this morning. We're here at the Cadillac Ranch. I hope you all know what the Cadillac Ranch is, what you're about to see. It's super exciting. I think I've driven past it once or twice in my lifetime, but I've never stopped.
Cadillac Ranch.
Yeah, we thought we'd spray our logo on the cars, but look at all that water. It's a lake.
Yeah, it's Cadillac Lake. But, yeah,
No spray painting today, but it was super fun to visit.
we'll come back.
Yeah.
Back in Tupelo in 1935, baby boy rocked the world, the rhythm came alive. Here comes the king. Stand aside. Here comes the king. Here comes the king. Stand aside. Stand aside. His guitar in hand, up front in the band. Here comes the king. 19 years old in Memphis, Tennessee. Sam and son, so something come to be. Here comes the king.
Hey, we're here
Mimi's.
we're at Mimi's. Mimi's Cafe and on historic Route 66.
Dang old cafe.
Yeah. Mimi's Dang Old Cafe on historic Route 66 through Amarillo, because we're still seeing my uncle. And we heard tell that there was a woman that had, and she and her husband had ridden across the U.S. And so we got to talk to Dora. And Dora, tell us about your business here.
Our family has Texas Ivy Antiques, so my mom and sister started the shop in 1997, and this is our 24th year in business. And so we're glad to be here and glad to meet fellow cyclists on Route 66.
And it's one of the stops where you get your passport stamped.
It is. You can get your Route 66
so you
passport
need to do
stamp.
that.
So if you're going
I
on
know
Route
this.
66 and you're going through Amarillo, you have to stop.
At Texas Ivy.
But we've been sitting here talking to Dora for 30 minutes, and she's been telling us all about their awesome experience cycling across. We've learned a lot. It's people like Dora that really make the cycling community awesome and willing to share their knowledge and their experience and let newbies like us figure out what we're gonna do. But Dora, thanks so much for.
Thank y'all for coming.
Yeah, thanks so much for the education and for the great stories and yeah.
And I hope you'll have a wonderful trip, because I know it'll be a trip of a lifetime. And you'll want to do it again when you get done.
Yeah.
Awesome, maybe we will. Thank you.
In his legs, here comes the king. All right.
After enjoying the hospitality of my aunt and uncle, we headed north and ended up driving all the way home without stopping. It was a long day and included 1,060 miles. Woo! We made it back to Idaho Falls. 3,400 miles, 80 hours in the car. Long time. But got the Corvair unloaded.
We're just getting started on putting this bike back together.
We had it stored in the back there. We had the front part off. This has the S&S couplers.
We had these apart here.
So those aren't even tight yet. We just got that on. I'm just putting the rear wheel on. And we have a lot to do here.
Oh, it feels good to have it on 2 tires again.
We were sort of in a hurry, and I had to take the rear derailleur cable loose at the rear derailleur, and so now we're gonna have to figure that out.
When we were loading, we were fighting this impending storm was coming through, so we wanted to get it loaded before it started to rain. So we were in a little bit of a hurry on account of the weather, which we beat.
Now, we got to
Get the tool to tighten that up with.
tighten what up with.
Tighten these.
Oh yeah, and then we got to do the derailleur.
Oh, the derailleur's not connected. He has a special wrench that tightens up these S&S couplers.
For those of you who haven't seen it before, these are called S&S couplers. They're made by a company called S&S. This is the wrench, but they come apart. They come apart like this. So you unscrew them like this, and then you can see there's a spline-like feature that clamps together and makes, and you can see because of the way they look like gear teeth almost. And so as you screw this together, it clamps those and gets it tighter and tighter. It makes a super structural connection for the bike frame. But it also allows this bike to come into 3 different pieces, and you can actually get luggage that you can put this bicycle, tires, frame, everything, into 2 checkable suitcases that you can check on an airline. We have not purchased those box luggages yet. We may. CoMotion still sells them. You would not want to take these on a trip and forget this tool, you would be in pretty bad shape. Okay,
So there's another set of couplers back here.
1, 2, 3. Very cool. Super cool. Okay, you got the bike?
Yep.
Stay tuned for next week's episode when we finish getting the Tandem on the road and ready for RAGBRAI training. We're also going to share some of our RAGBRAI best practices. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to wear a helmet.